Hello, how's everybody doing out there? Just wanted to give everybody a quick review. On the left here, I have an iPhone 5S. This is given to me for a week from T-Mobile as part of their test drive promotion. And on the right here, I have my BlackBerry Q10, which I've been using on Verizon for about a year and a half now. And the reason I'm doing this is really because I've had people give me a lot of crap, I guess you could say, for using the BlackBerry, loving the BlackBerry, recommending the BlackBerry. And they always say, if you use the iPhone, if you had an iPhone, you would see the difference. You'd end up buying one. You'd end up loving one. Well, I've been using it for a week, and before I get way into stuff, I just want to say I'm going to keep this as unbiased as possible. I'm doing this, strictly as a comparison for what I do and the way I work on both devices and how both devices hinder or benefit me. And I really made an effort to use the iPhone almost exclusively for a week, not just to test T-Mobile's network, but to test the feature set versus the BlackBerry. And I gotta say, I am not at all surprised. I stick by my original opinion, and I'm going to show you why in the upcoming comparisons. I know there's tons of reviews out there on, the iPhone, tons of reviews on the BlackBerry, but I don't really know if there's any that show the subtle differences that are really nice to know, and especially for business purposes and people that do a lot of messaging and for multitasking. And BlackBerry 10 is the new version of the OS, and I don't think enough people have really seen the features and benefits of BlackBerry 10 to really compare it to when they think of BlackBerry, you think of the older ones that required the enterprise server to use email, that didn't have the ActiveSync support, that you had to pull the battery out of every day or two. BlackBerry 10 is not like that at all. It's a far different, much different animal. So I'm gonna do a comparison of some general features, things that one phone does a lot better than the other. I'm not going to touch on very much, other than saying this one is the clear winner. Here's why. Give one quick explanation. I don't think there's any point to go in depth. But when there's a difference, I especially when the BlackBerry wins out, I really think I want to show you a side-by-side comparison. So the areas I'm going to touch on are web browsing, multitasking, messaging, battery life, and a few others. All right, so one of the first things I'm going to touch on is security. Right now, I have both these devices locked, and both these devices are set with a password. So first on the iPhone, and you're going to have to bear with me a little bit because I have the camera in front of me, and it's a little hard to use the phone and use either phone really with this in front of me. So I have my my unlock and enter the password. It's just a simple one right now. Great, I can do whatever I need to do. Open my apps, do whatever I want to do. And then let's say I put my phone in my pocket. I hit the power button first, obviously, because I'm going to want to close it. So then let's say a couple minutes later, I want to check to see if I have an email. Well, I go in and I have to enter this password all over again. And same thing on the BlackBerry here. You slide up, it's telling me, enter device password. So I enter my password. Oops. And I'm in. And, I check my messages, I do whatever I need to do, and then I say, okay, off, back in my pocket, and then here's where the difference comes in. Turn the device on, slide up, I'm right back at my main screen, I'm ready to use my device. And without even hitting the power button, we'll be at the blank screen right out of the pocket. You don't even need to touch the power button. You slide up, and there you are, you're right there. Now, before you're saying that's insecure, well, this device is set for a 20-minute inactivity timeout. If I go in here into my security settings and device password, you'll see lock device after 20 minutes. if I'm not using this device, if it's in my pocket for 20 minutes, if it's sitting off, or if it's sitting even on for 20 minutes and nothing happens, nothing touches it, it prompts for the password again. But why every time you pick this up, turn it right back off, pick it right back up a second later, why should I have to enter the password every time? It just doesn't make sense. It's an extra thing. And yeah, I know you're saying, oh, well, they have the fingerprint authentication. Well, you know what? I don't want to use the fingerprint authentication. I'm not comfortable with my, fingerprint information, possibly being stored somewhere. Also, what happens if you cut your finger? What happens if you get a blister? What happens if you're wearing gloves? There's drawbacks to that. And that's one thing. Another thing I'd like to draw your attention to specifically on the BlackBerry, and I'll go ahead and lock this, is if somebody, if somebody unauthorized to me, somebody steals my phone, somebody has my phone, whatever, and they keep trying to guess the password. You'll see here at the top, if I can get it focused in there, the incorrect password attempts will go up towards 10. And I know you're kind of thinking, what happens when you get 10? Well, it says right there, if you enter the incorrect password, I've entered the incorrect password 5 times. After 10 unsuccessful attempts, device data will be erased. It absolutely means that. It's a great security feature. It basically means that if somebody has my phone, and that doesn't time out, by the way, that is indefinite. If I check that a day later, if I don't know if you pull the battery. That is one thing I'm not sure of. That might reset it, but who knows. If you have 10, in fact, let's try it. If you have 10 invalid password attempts, it will wipe all the data on the device. It'll be completely unrecoverable. The other nice thing about the BlackBerry is you have the ability to encrypt the entire phone or the SD card. You can take a full backup of the phone using the BlackBerry Link software, similar to, I'm sure, the way you can on iTunes. It will back up the apps. It will back up all your data, pictures, music, whatever you might have on it. It will also back up every single setting. It'll back up your ringtones. It'll back up the position of icons. It'll back up, everything except the device password. So that's all in there. That's all well and good. And I just really found that lacking with the iPhone and annoying. I mean, it seems to be more, let's put everything in the cloud, let's share everything. And that's not the way I'm used to working, and that's not the way that I want to work. That being said, there are a lot of nice security features the iPhone does offer. There's the Find My iPhone, which is similar to the BlackBerry one. I forget what the service is called on the BlackBerry, though, to be honest. But there is a similar GPS tracking where you can go online. You can erase the device. You can have the device call out, make a sound even if it's on silent mode. That's a feature that's supported on both devices. So I don't really see that as anything all that special. But back to what I was saying before, we'll check and see now if we are in fact. Oh, nope, look at that. It survives the reboot, survives the battery pull. It still tells me if I have 5 times on here and all the data gets erased, it absolutely means that. No one's getting their hands on anything. If you plug this into a computer, it's going to ask you for the same exact password, so don't think that's a workaround either. Let me now unlock this properly with my correct password so I don't have any issue here. One nice thing is you see how it says to continue, enter BlackBerry. The reason it does that is because if this is in your pocket, let's say, and you're hitting on the keys and possibly entering invalid passwords, that's just a protection to keep your phone from accidentally erasing itself. But clear winner on data security features. Next thing I'm going to go on to is multitasking. And just the ability to flow through different things on the phone. And